Here we go.
Here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Liv and I's second broadcast together. Okie dokie. Now, how are you today, Liv?
I am feeling good. I'm excited, and it feels like this topic is just like, or topics feels like it needs to be spoken about. So I'm really happy that we're talking
That we're
about
speaking about it. Yes, and hopefully we'll get all the way through it because you know how it is. Anyway, so everyone who has not seen Liv, or those who actually are here for Liv and didn't even know about me, wait, okay, I'll explain who I am. And those of you who know me know I am Bobbi Rowntree, born medium. I was born able to communicate with dead folks and other sorts of things out and around there, and that's how I make my living now. And yeah, I guess that's all I could say really about me. I'm an author, I'm a medium, I'm a yoga teacher.
Yeah, a yoga teacher as well. And you've been doing it like officially, like you've been an official medium for 25 years. Is that right?
I've been a professional
medium.
Connecting for other people. It's 25, 27. I was 28 when I became the yogi, and I was already doing readings, and I'm 54.
Right. You got
I'm 1,000 years old. Now, explain to everyone what a life coach is, please.
Okay. Well, I'm actually a life and
relationship coach. I know.
Yeah. So I help pretty much 80% couples, and it's basically I'm helping them be able to work together so that they can basically bring in their own life purpose. They can be on purpose with what they're doing for themselves and then as a couple. So that's kind of, in kind of large brushstrokes. But ultimately, I'm helping with communication. I'm helping with crisis. I'm helping with, stuff that gets in the way of relationship. And why I feel so excited about relationship, and we talked about relationship last time, is just that it's such a metaphor for everyone, right? And it's what we're going to be talking about today as well, because we're all in relationship. We're all in relationship with the world, with each other,
with everything, really, because your relationships begin with your siblings and your parents and then progress from there. And I think marriages have changed drastically. Absolutely, because the idea of marriage at one time was predicated on safety for all. And now it is, I choose to look at your face for 50 years. That's a really big choice to make about somebody. Hello, Julia. Julia says hello, and she says, nice to meet you, Liv.
Oh, hi, Julia. Nice to meet you too. Well, through the ether, I can't actually see you.
Yeah, you can see you. Where's the there? Okie dokie. Now we can actually, considering we're just starting and all we've had is Julia say anything, let's get right to the topic. And please, I believe that on this topic, you're in the lead. I am in the, I'm going, you know what I see? That's my part of this. So.
Well, I just wanted to open up the conversation around mental health, around genius, around spiritual awakening, and just the different perspectives that not only we give to each other and societal, but really culturally, because I'm not an expert on this, and I actually did want to do a disclaimer first of all. I want to do a disclaimer that anything that we talk about here is a conversation, and we're inviting curiosity and an open mind and an open heart to explore. I did run a counseling practice for 10 years, but I have never diagnosed, and I never will diagnose because that's not in my job description. But this really is just a navigation of sometimes misinterpreted diagnosis, misinterpreted or pathology on mental health. And just really, we all have struggled with it through our lives. And I think that really it's like how we relate to our mental health, how we relate to the moods that we're in, the phases we go through, the ups and downs, no matter how high or how low, all of those things, really are influential. And not just how we relate, but how our communities relate are so influential on what happens for us as human beings on the planet. So, and also just the connection to psychic energy and the connection to our spirituality and how they're all connected. And in other cultures, it's a totally different perspective than say Western culture, for example.
I would love to experience those other cultures. Oh, I love that so much because honestly, as you're talking about this, and actually, before I say my perspective, I should say hello to everyone because you cannot see that people are saying hello to us.
Hello.
Okay, we say hello to Julia. Hello, Katrina.
Hi,
Hello,
Katrina.
Michelle. Hello, Tracy. Hello, Carrie. Hello, Sherry. And hello, Carrie again. So happy to talk about this, Carrie. Tracy says, why did I say Carrie? It's because I looked at your last name, Tracy. It's because of that. And I looked at Carrie before that. And, I just did 3 readings. And yesterday I did 4. So yesterday I was a blubbering idiot on the floor. Anyway, at the end of it all, by 6 o'clock, I was done. Okay. I totally and absolutely have a perspective on this, and I totally and absolutely agree with you. I actually believe, my belief is that because we subtract the 6th sense out of our senses, we think we have 5, that we create this idea of something incorrect in our brains that we are missing, because to my mind, there are clairsentience out there, there are clairvoyance out there. We're missing that. It's almost like those TV shows where, Heroes, where the eclipse happened and everyone got the superpower that was already laying dormant within them.
Yeah.
And I believe that is actually the psychic energy that's within people. And I think people are medicating their psychic energy.
Yeah. I hear you. I mean, I remember when you said to me one time, I was having a reading with you, I don't know, maybe a year ago or something, and you mentioned my mum, and you said, oh, has she got something wrong with her blood? She had mild leukemia at the time that you obviously didn't know anything about. And you were like, oh, because when I think of the blood, I think of blocked psychic energy. And that's totally my mum. I mean, like my mum and my grandma were both definitely psychic. There's no doubt about it. My grandma used to win the pulls, and they were called little wood pulls, but they were basically, like you'd spot the ball, you put a little cross where the football's supposed to be, and then you'd guess where it's supposed to be. She's talking thousands all the time. And numbers have come into my mum's head like lots of times and all the rest of it. So when you said that, I just thought, like it just really makes me feel really curious about, how much we don't use that 6th sense. And like you said, how much we judge ourselves. We think we're bad. We think we're wrong. We think something's wrong with us. And so like with anything, with any kind of stress, we create more stress in the body because we're stopping.
And I think sometimes we can medicate it and then we divert knowing what's going on. And then we need the medication now.
Right. Yes.
Because we've made it so we can't understand our own selves.
Right.
And that is not to say that all medicated people, it's just your psychic, get off your medication. That is not what we're saying in any way, shape, or form. No. I honestly think there's this push to be normal.
Yeah.
Yet we have no barometer for normal.
No.
None whatsoever.
And that's the thing that I was looking into. Again, I'm no expert. I'm just curious about it. But I was exploring, different cultures, like with shamanism and some African cultures and, different areas, different cultures where when someone is what the Western culture might call psychosis, in other cultures, they're maybe they've had some visions, or maybe they're getting, they're either seeing something or experience something otherworldly or not the normal, the usual. And the community comes round and takes care of them, gives full permission, praises them, allows them to express it. And then, they're often given titles like gurus and titles like, an elder or whatever, because they are carrying wisdom of other realms that the people that, the general day-to-day people in the tribe or in the village, whatever, is not in connection with, so it's actually praised. It's not even just,
it's supported and it's seen as real.
Yes. And it's seen
as a psychic, I so get that. Absolutely get that. It used to stop me up when people would be resistant to anything I would say. We used to call it the nose. When I get the nose, yeah. If you're a psychic reader, you know that term. When I get the nose,
Does that kind of mean like I'm thinking
no,
that,
no.
What do you mean?
People will do that. Yeah. Do you have a mother? No. Well, I have a mother, but it's not what you think. It's like, okay, this is hard. I thought you came to me for help. Help me, help
Okay,
you.
got it.
Yeah. It's totally, because it can shut it down. It doesn't do that to me anymore because I'm psychic F you. And I believe you're psychic too. And you just don't know that about yourself. So you can't tell me I'm not psychic because I think you are, blah, 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 blah. So I feel very, very strong in my abilities. But talk to me 15 years ago and I would have been only 10 years in. And you still could have made me go, oh, nah, okay, maybe not, maybe this, maybe that, because it's so odd sometimes.
Yeah.
The way the information comes in is not the same for every human being.
No,
it's completely different. Sometimes it's what you're feeling. Sometimes you're actually I see things in my head. Sometimes I hear voices, but not like I used to.
Yeah.
Well, thank God not like I used to, because I used to hear. So that one, do you do with that? I'm going to say hi to some more people too, because more people have joined us and say hello to us.
Hello.
So nice to them. Hello, Amanda. Hello, Steve the baker. He always writes Steve the baker when he does it. So yeah. Hello, Panda Love Always. And that's what I'm going to call you, because that's how I know you right now. Steve and Sherry have connected. Obviously, they know each other. Yeah, who wants to be normal? Exactly, Amanda. Okie dokie. Okay, now I'm going to put this up for you, Julia, because hello, Debbie. Okie dokie. All right. I would love to hear you talk a bit about a partner who is far less connected to their sixth sense. I am really mindful of the dynamic of remaining authentic and accepting where he is. Honestly, I'm going to shove this one over to you for a sec, because I know both these people.
Okay. So you're really mindful. Hi, Julia. You're really mindful about. I'm just trying to the dynamic of remaining authentic and accepting where he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you do that? You're the relationship lady. When you know about the sixth sense and psychic energy, like, I don't think I could. I know I couldn't. I could not have a successful marriage or relationship with someone who did not believe that I am talking to the dead.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. So am I hearing from this question that basically Julia's partner doesn't believe, and that there is a sixth sense, but she's like, so how do I deal with that?
Yeah.
I mean, the piece that I would always say is, for one, don't shove it down their throat. Like, don't try and prove it. That's something, because often when we know something and somebody else doesn't, it's like we want to go, no, it's true. Even when we know in our hearts that it's true, we want to convince them.
Yeah.
And that can scare people, that can push them away. And so I would invite you to continue being authentic, and also to continue to bring it forward, to bring forward your thoughts, your inspirations, your experience of your sixth sense, and keep bringing it forward authentically, and also open up the conversation with them. But your relationship intention will be everything. So what is underneath the words, in the acting world, we call it subtext, but what's underneath the words will be conveyed. So for example, if I'm like, oh, I know he doesn't believe, but I'm just gonna talk about it anyway, but he won't hear me. So I'll just, then that, even though those words you might not say, he will still pick those up. So,
which is very psychic.
Which is very psychic.
It's just totally psychic. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll use his sixth sense to bring it up.
Yeah. He'll be using his sixth sense as you're trying to explain the sixth sense to him. And you got to be careful, because he won't accept that it's a sixth sense because you're explaining it to him.
I love that. But yeah, I mean, the main thing is to not push, and to just share with him that this is a valuable thing for you. Like, it's important to you. It's, whatever's true for you, I invite you to convey that to him, to just share it without pushing, without needing an actual result from him, or, but it's really important that you get to be yourself fully in the relationship, right? And if you're holding back certain things because of that, then that it will will lead to issues because you're going to feel resentful for not being yourself, for not being, for not being authentic and being, in your own comfortable skin. So my encouragement is always be as authentic as you can, bring it forward, let them know that it's actually important for you to, to share or to experience that. And also notice how does it feel if he doesn't? Like, is it a make or break? Is it the end of the world? How do you feel with that? That is he putting it down? Because that's another thing. Is he putting you down? That's another thing. Is he just like, well, no, that actually scares me a bit? Which, if there's good communication, you could even start to kind of enter that territory where he could be a little bit more vulnerable and share, well, just curious, like what is it that makes you go, nope? Because often it's fear. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Often it's fear, again, about coming out of the norm and going into this new territory, which suddenly doesn't have boxes and lines and in the way that we recognize them.
Yeah. And I would actually say an even shorter version of exactly what you just said in the end there. Just unabashedly be you.
Yeah.
Meditate in the living room. It's like living well is the best revenge is always what I hear. So people who move into their spirituality do tend to become more balanced. They tend to live a happier life. They tend to move more into things that turn their crank more. And then people who watch that happen can either get envious or they can jump on the same train.
Yeah.
Those are the two things they can do. So yeah, I always say, don't lead a horse. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them meditate. So you might as well take them to the water, meditate in front of them, and see if they join. And if they don't join, they don't. But they probably will, because they'll see what the hell's going on with that. Yeah, that's yeah. So yeah, and it's I really wanted to hear that from you too, because your perspective, my perspective is they tell me to say this, and I say it. That's pretty much it. And I have given advice to people that I don't remember in the slightest bit. Happens all the time, actually. People will say, well, you told me this.
Right.
And I say, I did?
Oh, yeah, I've done that.
Yeah. That sounds great. Look at me. Yeah. But yeah, it is because when I am doing my work, I am not absent, but my mind is to a certain extent. I don't retain everything for people's privacy. Yeah. And I love that because that gives me the you guys don't get that.
No.
Everyone expects you to remember everything.
You're literally reminding me, and you're an actress as well in the past, right? You're reminding me of times when I've been on stage, like, doing long productions. Like this was the one I'm thinking about was in theatre. And I'd be on the stage for like an hour and a half and I wouldn't remember what happened. And it felt like I was channeling, like it totally, you know what I mean? And I've heard a lot of actors, when they're fully immersed, when they're fully in the moment, that, but I've never kind of thought, oh yeah, that's when I'm channeling, or that's where but it totally feels like that, for really good, what I call good acting.
Oh yeah. I'm a method actor.
Yeah.
So I would stand backstage waiting for my cue line, and I'd walk back and forth, and as I'd walk, I'd become them. Suddenly, and now I'm walking like them. Now I am them. I'm not going to forget my lines, because this is not me. This is Jane talking, and Jane's just talking. She doesn't have lines. She's just Jane interacting with George, and that's what's happening. Yeah, I totally agree. But I'm me. So I'm not a good example for that one.
You're making me
like Bobbi Lanaway, duh. Yeah. Sorry. Hello, Bree. Bree has added to us.
Hi, Bree. Awesome.
Yes, and Bree says hello to both of us. Thank you.
Hi.
Yes, the irony of subtext is psychic. Yes, because the irony of subtext is so my thing is that everybody is clairsentient at the start.
Remind me what clairsentient is.
It's like feeling other people's feelings. You feel the energy. You feel things. Because we actually walk around talking like that. We tell people they can feel things they cannot see. So therefore, when you feel something, you will address that energy and act as though it is something that makes sense to you. Like gut feelings in your stomach. Well, that's just your solar plexus chakra telling you you're powerful. Anxiety attacks, same thing. Anyway, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, So the subtext idea. So I believe that if you are in an argument with your spouse and you find, oh, that's not my argument, that's his argument. What the fuck am I saying? No, I'm in an argument. I'm going to keep going. I'm winning. Your clairsentience is taken over.
Right.
Or it's like when you're in that argument, you say that thing, you see their face go.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Ooh, I did it. I got him. That's your clairsentience, my friend. Because we're all it's like there's no atheists in a foxhole. There's no non-psychics anywhere. Actually,
I hear
anywhere.
you. Totally.
Everybody.
But it's also how much we've been covered up, right? How much has been covered up? Because when you're talking, it's also reminding me of little kiddies, right? I mean, I don't know how many clients I've had through the years that, once they feel trust with me, that they'll start to share about various different things that their child saw, heard, felt, and they've we've just kept it to ourselves. We haven't told anybody. And
because people think we're crazy.
Yeah, but it's very common. It's very common. And when I think of little kids and what you're talking about, it's like, in our original wiring, we are like little sponges, right? We take everything in. So that original first 0 to 7 years where we're just absorbing, all the feelings and the chaos and all the rest of it around us, and I think that feeds into the reasons why we become scared. And because we're doing that right from the beginning. Oh, I've got to eat broccoli at 6 o'clock. I don't like broccoli. But I'm going to bed at 8 and I'm actually tired, or I want to go at 6. It's just we don't have those choices. And
No.
We're not trusting that natural flow. We're not trusting that energy.
Oh, we could talk about so many things with trusting natural flow, because I had a little bit of discussion with my daughter about hot flashes and menopause.
Right.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic we should actually get to, because I have opinions on my menopause.
We should definitely do a menopause thing. I've got lots of friends going through it right now. So it's a big thing.
I think it's a natural, beautiful process, and I welcome a hot flash. I do strip myself naked. But I agree with you. I think we create stress by creating rules.
Yeah. Roles, do you say, or rules?
Let's go with both, roles and rules, because they both go under the same sort of thing. And really, at this time of year, I'm going to blame Queen Victoria herself. This is all her fault. All this pressure, all the toys and the gifts and things like that. That's all her fault.
I'm really up with my history.
Oh, I am obsessed with your country and their history.
We'll know more about it.
I know you're not. You can be obsessed with my country and my history. I'll be obsessed with yours. But I like to look at history, because history shows me why people act the way they do now.
For sure.
Based on the way they acted the way they did then.
Yeah.
And I find it so fascinating. Yeah. I find human beings fascinating. I think they're the most disgusting and the most beautiful things at the exact same time.
I love that. Yes.
No offense to any humans out there, but God. Flawed, huh? Okie dokie. Hello, Laura Lee. Hello, Katrina. We had 2 new people, so we had to say hello to them.
Do we have any more questions?
Pardon?
Do we have any more questions coming in?
No, that's what I was just gonna say. Look at you little psychic. If you guys have any questions for us, or if you would like to contribute to the conversation, please feel free to do so. We'll write it down. And if you don't want me to put it up so everyone can see it, say, Bobbi, don't put this up. You can even put that on there, private or something like that. But okie dokie. Now, now I actually really want to talk about the concept of genius with mental health, because when you brought that up, I was like, I never thought. Okay, that makes so much sense to me, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, you go ahead and explain it, please.
Yeah. Well, I'm just curious, Bobbi.
Okay. Yeah. This was a theory you were exploring.
Well, so when I was when I did my acting degree 25 years ago, I remember there was this director called Gustav Boal, if I remember rightly. I haven't literally looked him up for 20 years. But his whole theatrical piece was around the crossovers and the fine lines between genius and madness. And then when you think of, certain artists or, certain greats in the, that are known as being, extremely eccentric or
cutting off their ears and sending them to ladies.
yeah, that'll do it.
Things
That'll
like
be one.
that.
Yeah.
For wins.
And so the research that I have found when I did explore it was just that the creative it's the relationship with creativity. So people that are again not going in the, I don't know, the norm, going into the, the 9 to 5, the Monday to Friday, the sheeple feeling, it's like and people who are in this, the genius category, the madness category, whatever, they're more creative. They have more ability to explore
Expand
out
their
of the
minds.
box.
Yeah.
Which is, which I think
I would say they have the ability to channel those that are bigger than them.
Right.
Like Beethoven could actually hear the angels. That is why we have the Fifth Symphony.
Right. Love that.
Doesn't really sound like angels, but
yeah.
It's my favorite. And it's everyone's favorite, actually, Beethoven's Fifth.
And that's something I think a lot of people can relate to. Like, you hear it all the time from artists. I actually didn't do this. I didn't write it. I didn't perform it. It came through me. It was like, yeah.
All my books.
And you hear of sculptors, right? Sculptors that say, they had no idea what they just had this lump of clay.
Yeah.
And this creation is channeled through them. Yeah, you hear that all the time.
My husband.
Yeah.
That's his carving, and he will look at the wood. He even once came to me and said, "What's in this?" And I said, "Oh, it's a this and this and this," and then he just carved it, the freak.
Yeah.
My husband's a very talented artist, and I call him a freak. I love him. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, he says the wood tells it. Michelangelo said that. Michelangelo said the marble tells me what it wants to be.
Yeah.
David came out of the marble rather than he decided to make David, which that's my favorite. Then the Pieta. I love the Pieta. Yeah. Anyway, so I completely and absolutely agree with that ideology. But I actually, and I don't want to take it away from the individual. That's the problem with that one. Because the individual, okay, so I heard this book. Actually, as I write, I know that somebody's writing with me. I can hear it in my head. But I believe it takes me to actually write it. They can add, but I need to have the ability. I need to be in that with them. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So if you're an amazing artist, it's really not the spirit or the angels or that is actually creating the thing, but they are assisting and being one with you in making it. Because I really, even though this is what I do for a living, this is what I do. I talk to dead people on the daily. And I get to see where they are. I get to see everything. I know there are concepts and ideas I miss.
Yeah.
I'm fully aware of that because my mind cannot fathom them.
Yeah.
Because your mind can only fathom what it has seen. It runs on repeat all the time.
Yeah.
You cannot introduce a new thing into it.
Yeah. Interesting.
So it has to already be there. What a weird, And then that brings me to the idea, because I've been like this my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I've always seen people running at me and faces floating at me and hearing scream. That was the way it was like when I was a little girl.
Yeah.
So, okay, I get that. Okay, so, sorry.
Never apologize.
Speak to me. Anyway, so because when I was a little girl, it was, and I always say it's because I started to meditate. They were going at a vibration I wasn't at. If we think about it, what I did was expanded my mind to accept that is a thing, and therefore I could hear them properly.
Yeah.
We could look at it in both ways.
Yes.
So if we accept that, yes, Debbie. Sorry, my husband's cousin is on here, and Anyway, so if we accept the fact that there is that sixth sense, we will then be able to see our sixth sense.
I love that.
Experience.
Yes, absolutely. Accept is a great word. Accept. I mean, one of the things that I'm always saying, like, if there's anything that you can you know, if there's two things that you can think of, is I think of compassion and presence, being in the moment, and acceptance is another word for compassion in my mind. You have to be open to it, to accept, right? If you're accepting, you're opening, your heart is opening. So I think that that's such an important thing. And I think that it's also such an important thing when we are going through different phases of mental health as well, because like I said earlier, we all are. And I think that it's really important that we are able to be kind to ourselves as we're going in the process. Because the amount of times say to me, you know, oh, you won't believe, you know, I felt this and I've got no idea why. I'm like, that's okay. That's completely normal. We all feel stuff that we don't necessarily have, you know, like some days we can feel sad, some days we can feel irritable, you know, it's like, but it's actually just growing that awareness to know that actually, you know, so that we can be kinder to ourselves. Because I feel that this is the issue. The issue is whether it's us talking to ourselves in a critical way or judgmental way, or the mirrors around us, the people around us that are judging or we're afraid of. You know,
I agree. I have my doctor's on a need to know basis. I'll tell you that right now.
need to know basis.
Oh, my doctor? Yeah. I tell her a little bit, but I don't tell her absolutely everything because I just do not want to open the door and find two men with the white jacket that ties in the front waiting for me when I open it up. But also, if I'm feeling sad and I think, why am I feeling sad? I will text my other psychic friends.
Yeah.
And say, are you feeling sad today? Is it out there or is it me or what is happening? And then that's like always my first check-in.
I love it.
Is it the energy of the place right now? Because I'm hesitating to use the word the universe, just because I'm hesitating to use it for some reason. It's too blankety because the universe is out there. This is not the universe. This is the earth. So that it's a misnomer. And so I had to get I'm having a bit of a hot flash. So I had to get the fan out. Highly recommend getting yourself some fans. Maybe if there's some drag queens on them, even better. But yeah, get fans when you go through some menopause because whoo. Yeah, and they're an awesome accessory. It just looks very cool and southern. I'm going to say hello to some people, and we have a question. And this question is very much a mediumship question, but I really, really, really want to know what impressions you get because everybody's psychic. Okie dokie. All right. Okay. So Katrina, I have tons. Sherry Miller. Okay. I'm going to say hello to Jen. Hello to Carrie.
Hi, Jen.
Hello, Debbie. You're my cousin too now. Hello. I am an astrology readings. Hello, Sarah and Tracy. I say hello to you, young lady. Okay. Let's go to Sherry. Sherry says, I have a spirit visiting my place. Do you know if it's my husband or the lady that previously owned my place? When I first read this, I got an immediate answer, and I didn't answer it because Olivia was talking. I did not want to interrupt her, but I got both. I got that she checks on the place and he checks on you. And is there a cat? You can't answer that. I do that all the time. Is there a cat? How is she supposed to answer me? Yes, no. I don't know if you actually have a cat or if that old lady comes with a cat. Like you might actually feel the compression of little paws. Because that's cats revisit, dogs stay with the dead people. Okay, now, do you get any impression when you read something like that?
I'm just still thinking about your last comment. Cats, did you say revisit? Do you mean cats from the other side revisit?
Yeah.
Okay. And dogs stay with their owners? Or
no, they go back and forth. Cats are different.
Of course they are.
Very different.
Very different in every area.
In every absolute way, yeah. I actually believe cats, even when they're alive, can go back and forth between realms.
Right, yeah.
Scientifically, cats can actually slow down time like a snake can.
Oh, I love that. I
know, it's wackadoo.
Yeah.
They can hear electricity. They can, they're just, And I actually think I have two cats outside my room because I think that they are protecting me from evil energies.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do think that.
And my cat was acting really strange the other night. He was on there. I was just drifting off, and he was doing this, like with his just one paw, like on my legs, and I was like, "Okay, this is weird." And so I was like, "Can you stop doing that? Because you're freaking me out." It was just like,
That's funny because it reminds me of the good luck cat that you see in sushi restaurants. Because it's a good luck thing. So maybe your cat was anointing you with good luck. I know I've read things that say that when cats sleep next to your head,
Yeah.
because there's nasty things above your head
Right.
and they're keeping you
Entities.
protected. Oh
Mm.
yeah, they're neat.
I
Neat
love
little creatures.
that.
So yeah,
Okay, so coming back to this, like, what I guess comes up for me is trust, is an invitation to trust yourself in regards to what you feel. You're asking, is it my husband or is it the previous owner? And yeah, I would invite you to take your attention inside to go, how do they feel? Like,
yeah,
do you feel connected to them? Are they supportive? Are they nosing about? Like, what's the feeling that comes up for you? And can you trust that? Can you act on that, or allow yourself to feel more comfortable with that? I don't know what the word is, but feel good about that. Feel good about
yeah.
whatever is coming up.
Allow them both to be there, because I actually think the old lady comes through, and I think her husband stays. And
Uh,
that is one of the differences, but that's excellent advice to see how it feels inside of you as to whether or not, because obviously your link with your husband is not the same link as the lady who previously owned the house. Definitely. And oh yeah, ask him. Say, if this is you, young man, that's how I would speak to my husband. I would like to see this. Leave me this. Do this. Do something and let me know it's you. Yeah, give him a task, because
Yeah.
it's your husband and he's the one communicating with you, so it behooves him to make it so that he can actually. And also too, sometimes when we say, oh my gosh, that's you, even if it wasn't them, they will say, oh, she thinks that's me, I'm going to do that, because then I'll change it so that you will think that it's me, or know that it's me. Communication is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they will, from what I understand, change it to like, and I assign things to dead people. I say, when it's you, I want to see this, this, and this, so I know it's you.
Yeah.
Because as you go along, the population of dead folks in your house does increase.
Yeah.
And everybody, even the new people, are like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
And you're like, why? Oh, no. Everybody's got to take a coin. That's what I do.
Yeah. Well, I've got again a number of clients that have very direct things, like that coins is one. I have a client who gets really clear messages from the coins, like, or she's asking them for something, or asking, can you just let me know you're there, or can you show me a coin if this is the right decision, or whatever. And
Yeah.
it works for her, I think, 100% of the time.
Yeah, and actually, they want me to put a little caveat on that. If you wouldn't have asked them that when they were alive, don't bother when they're dead, is actually what I heard.
Really?
Yes.
I'm not sure if this girl would have been asking them
Well,
pennies.
the one thing about dead people is they have opinions.
Yeah. I've heard them before.
Yeah, when I hear, I'll say, this is from a dead person. I'm just going to give you that. This is not a spirit guy telling you this. This is somebody's opinion about something, rather than, but sometimes people want that opinion.
Yeah.
Because they want to make sure that dead person's okay with what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just heard in my head too, when that happens, you think about it, they don't ask you if they should be doing the afterlife a different way.
No, they don't. Am I okay to come through the house?
Yeah. But that's the thing. I remember my dad died. I was like, oh my gosh, my dad's watching everything.
Yeah.
My dad knows that, and that'll ruin your sex life faster than anybody. Suck it up.
I've also had a client actually that has put a very clear boundary on her father coming in, and she said it feels like it really works. Yeah,
I call it sock on the door.
Sock on the door.
And the dead will call it that too. They'll actually sew a sock on the door, and
I see.
Yeah. Some of them will be like, "Be noisy," then I know I won't go. And then there are those who do go because they're dirty. This is gonna sound so sexist, but young men. I've had young men show me, like, if I had a young man who came to talk to another young man who crossed over.
Okay.
And that crossed over young man showed the man who was in front of me having sex with his wife in quite a male fashion. There's not much more female, but it was anyway. Yeah. And yeah, like, he watched and he was like, oh my God, that happened. I'm like, oh, well, he watched, you guys.
Whoa.
It happens. Usually they don't. And I think sometimes they do it. They say that they're doing it just to bug the crap out of you.
I always just think, whatever, like, what do you call it? paradigm that they're in or whatever, it's so different to here. It's got to be so different to here when we're in these, what you call meat suits. I like that. I'm using that lately.
Go ahead, use it all you want.
Thank you. But yeah, like no matter what they're doing or saying or whatever, it's still like they're aware, like they don't think that they live here or whatever. You think?
Yes. Yeah. This is dense.
Right.
Whereas where they live, it's free.
Right. Yeah.
It's just everything here is it's set in material.
Yeah.
So it's dense, it's heavy. We get hungry here.
Yeah. Right.
They don't get hungry. We get cold, they don't get cold.
Right.
I do believe they go through sadnesses and stuff, but you, from what I see, like say, what I will see is someone who's committed suicide. And if they haven't come to terms with giving up the gift, because that's what it is, you have to figure out why you gave up the gift, they will have an angel on either side of them. And I don't think the angels are policing them. I believe that the angels are lending more support, being there with them, but they'll even show themselves handcuffed with the angels sometimes. Yeah, they show these 2 golden handcuffs on their wrists. Part of that is I'm still trapped, but the trap is them because they haven't come to terms with what they did. Yeah, and for some reason I'm supposed to say then there's the mental health pass.
Yeah.
If you kill yourself because you are schizophrenic and you can't deal with it anymore, that's okay.
Yeah.
I maybe shouldn't have said that.
What do you mean? You mean, oh, I'm hearing what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. Wouldn't be the first time I've okayed that for someone. Anyway, keep the clothes on. Okay. Hello, Shelly. I don't know what's going on, Steve, but I'm going to look through this and track your conversations because keep the clothes on. Is that dead people watching us? I'm not sure what that was.
No,
anyway,
he's talking about having sex, so he's like, keep the clothes on so that the other side doesn't see. I'm guessing. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Carrie believes 100% cats are protectors. Sherry has yes, and then 2. Dang 'em. Because sometimes actually what they wrote will be lower, and then I'll have their second response up higher.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So we have a question though, so we're going to go to Tracy's question.
Okay.
We have a few questions actually.
Okay, let's go.
Okie dokie. So Tracy says, I have opened myself and accepted my ability. It's such a huge learning curve. Yes, absolutely. But I'm wondering what other ways to keep on the journey. Oh, that's interesting. And you know what I find it very interesting? I know it was a spelling mistake. Huge leaning curve. I actually don't know if that was entirely a spelling mistake.
Got it.
She's leaning into it. Okie dokie. Do you want to answer first?
Sure.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, what comes up for me would be around, initially is where I start with all my clients, which is around self-care. And it's a huge umbrella because it's what self-care for you would be very different to me or Bobby or whatever. That might be, just getting your feet on the ground outside, breathing the fresh air. It might be listening to the music that warms your heart or rocks your soul. It might be, connecting with a friend. It might be, just turning everything off and having, no social media day. Like there's so many different ways, but I think that, when no matter what we're trying to do, whether it's psychic abilities, whether we just want to be more open, whether we just want to be more free, there's stuff in the way of our human experience. So we're clearing it. I mean, that's what ascension is all about, is around clearing these layers of stuff that isn't true, that has got in the way, that is connected to our original programming. And we're clearing that so that we can be a clearer channel. And if we have a clearer channel, we'll feel better about ourselves, we'll feel better about other people, but we're also then more connected to ourselves, which for me is part and parcel of being connected to that sixth sense. Because the stuff of our childhood, the stuff of our conditioning, the stuff of our cultural conditioning, family conditioning, family system conditioning, it is the stuff that is getting in the way and blocking this natural channel, this ability that you're talking about. So that would be the first thoughts that I would have around that.
I agree. And I would even, all they keep saying in my brain, I don't usually speak like this, but is finding your joy.
Yeah.
And for
Yes.
some reason, like when I go and clear a house, like someone calls me and says, I have a presence in my house. Can you please come make it go away? I always go in. I will never go in a bad mood. I never go in angry. I never go in. I'm always laughing and giggling, and I giggle as I do it. And I get happier and happier as I do it, because if I'm not happy, I am going to be susceptible.
Mhm.
They'll be able to bring me down into where they are, and I won't be able to do the job I need to do. So that
Okay.
makes so much sense that you told her to do things that, because I would absolutely tell her to do. I would have said meditation, do this, do that, blah 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 blah. But it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
What you say, yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely do things that make you feel good, that make you feel like it's all going like this.
Yeah.
And they want me to add another thing onto there. Test yourself too, please, Tracy. Say, asked to see this many things in the day. When you hear something, actually adhere to it and say, okay, this is going to be what today, and then pay attention to all the little nuances and things. Themes as well. I get
Mhm.
so many theme days. I'll get theme weeks of readings where everybody is actually connecting to the same family member. It's like, what the heck is like dad week or something? Like, it happens a lot with dad week because my dad goes and gets other dads, and those dads bring the kids, and that's a whole thing. Yeah. Yeah, my dad's my agent. That's hilarious. Anyway, that would be bad. So yeah, that's what. And okie dokie, because I actually think it's animal communication, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tracy, but I think it's animal communication. So you might want to go to the SPCA. You might want to walk the airwalk and see if you can hear the animals and things like that, because the animals are communicating beyond the humans. Because, well, we all know they do. There's so many times I'm on a walk and I play with the dog, and then I remember, oh my God, there was a human at the other end of the leash. I didn't even say hi.
I've done that so many times. Me too. Mm.
Yeah, because the dog's like, oh, hi, how are you? I haven't seen you in so long. I know. You totally forget there was a human there. I know, I do that a lot.
Totally done that and not looked up. Like,
Not even like,
how
I go,
rude.
oh, shoot, I'm so sorry. There was
I
a
love
human behind all that. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, same poop, different pile in that kind of way. But
that.
please test yourself, go forward, because when you go forward, you actually, your psychic energy is a muscle.
Yeah.
It's like if you're lifting weights and you always lift 2-pounders, every now and again you want to go 3-4. So you can actually move the muscles into a stronger. Otherwise, you're just maintaining.
Mm-hmm. And I love that piece you were saying about joy. I mean, Brené Brown is big on joy, and I think there's yeah, it's a medicine. I often call it the medicine of joy. Like, I think
Oh yeah, joy
so
is absolutely. That's why people who are happy live longer when they have diagnosis of terminal diseases.
yeah, yeah.
Because yeah, they're just yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, sorry, it's so funny. So every now and again, I hear things from different parts of the walls.
Okay.
And I look up and I answer them, and I forget that I am doing that, and then I laugh at myself for doing that, and it's a whole thing. So yeah,
I just know you for doing that. Like, I don't really know you very much for just facing me like this. It's like usually
I
the
know,
like,
but that's why I'm in the middle of a reading, and it makes sense. But when it's yeah, I know.
I say
I
bring
know.
you in. I'm all up for it.
But yeah, yeah. See that I am the mental health. I am like the of it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I
No
don't
rules.
tell my
No rules.
doctor.
No.
No rule. Like it's gotten to a point, and I think I maybe have even told you this, and I don't even know where this fear is coming from. I think it's because I'm older now. I don't know, but I even fear going into the hospital
Right. Yeah.
because I fear that somebody's gonna go, and then next thing I know, boom, 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 all the doors are gonna close.
Yeah.
I don't know why I feel that way now.
You also mentioned that
unabashed.
you also mentioned when you were little, like, that it wasn't for it was your grandma, wasn't it? If it wasn't for your grandma, then you would have ended up in most
Yeah, I
likely
could have possibly. Yeah,
could have been. Yeah. So
absolutely.
that makes sense to me that you would have a fear around that.
Yeah, because I'm so. This is what I am now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I have to be like this because you're all like me too. You're like me. That's why I keep throwing them at you just to show. Okay, like see, Libby's using her psychic energy. Yes, you're using because with you, you have a whole bunch of information that is in your frontal lobe. You
Mhm.
have training. you know these things. So I actually even think for you to get to your psychic energy, you almost have to go, okay, smarty pantses, get down, and then go into the intuition. Because it's got, I always say, I'm so glad I have no training.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I know you do. And I think that there's some really, really valid stuff around all of that. I mean, when it was strange because when I transitioned from counseling to coaching, even though logically it doesn't necessarily make sense, I felt so much freer going into coaching. I feel much more myself. And yet I could have totally been myself as a counselor. But for whatever reason, and our training that we did was not a classical training. It was based on transpersonal psychology. So it was, it included the spirit world. It included, the universe and all the rest of it. So I didn't have a traditional training in that sense. Anyway, it was a lot more practical as well. And we explored different things, including trance states and, how the mind works and all that. But yeah. But at the same time, I've been in the personal growth world for creeping up to 34 years now. And so there's a lot of knowledge there, so I'm, and that's why I'm also really interested around, when we dip into crazy, because I've noticed that as I shift and change and transform, and I've shifted a lot in the last couple of years. And for me, it was around that transition. It was just like letting go of a lot of structures that I didn't know I was holding so tight. And I'm sure that will continue to the end. But in doing that, I remember coming to you for reading. You were like, oh, you're dipping your toe into crazy. And I was like, how does she know? Oh, yeah, she's a medium. But there's something about that also I think is really important. And I work with my clients in that way as well, is again, like, we think we're the only ones. Like, we think the only ones that have I think like I'm losing it a bit today. Like, no, everybody feels like that at some point. And especially if you're opening up to more and more sixth sense stuff. And again, I have so many people around me, so many clients that, they don't talk about it with people because they don't want to be judged. They don't want to be labeled. They don't want to be seen as weird, eccentric.
Yeah.
And yet it is the normal. It is the normal to have dreams and then they come true, or to, who's that person who, I haven't thought about them in 30 years. This happens to my partner every week. Haven't thought about that. Oh, and then they show up, it's like.
Because he was getting premonitory knowing that they were coming. Yeah. And actually what they said is there is no time.
No.
That one drives me absolutely bonkers. There is no time. I actually just did a reading where that's all they talked about was the lack of time. I was like, this is making me crazy. I feel like I'm skating on my head.
That's where my head does come in there, because it's like, well, quantum physics proves that. Quantum physics proves there is no time.
I know. And then I'm like, well, I don't get quantum physics either.
Neither do I, but it's like, at least if there's some kind of science out there that's going.
Yes. Oh, and quantum physics is the closest one from what I could tell. Yeah. And yeah, if you don't know that, go for What the Bleep. Go look at What the Bleep. It's 1,000 years old now, but it's done by physicists and explains all this so well. It really is very, very helpful if you need like a grounded earthly ideology with it. Absolutely. Yeah. But I think that's why we work well together in that way, because you have all that training. You can tell them all the like normal people things, but with a little bit of the cuckoo from me. And I do call it cuckoo. It's just crazy, because really, that's funny. I believe that the reason why I'm so loud like this and am pushing this at people is because when people do realize this, we will. Oh, golly sakes. That's a really big thing. They're telling me it will bring world peace. But it actually could. Yeah. Only because I can't treat another person like it, because I can feel them. Yeah, my empathy is so incredibly high. Sometimes it's hard to get out of bed because my empathy is so incredibly high. And once you start moving into your psychic energy, it is empathy. You see yourself as this amazing creature that is an individual, but is absolutely, we're paper dolls. We're all connected to each other.
Of course.
We're individuals connected to each other. And the more you get into your psychic energy, the more you feel like it. That's why I can read people. because I'm actually connected to them. I talk about taking a walk in people's brains.
Yeah. I've heard you
And
say
I
that.
do.
Yeah.
I actually just described a woman's brain to her. Yeah. We have another question.
Okay.
We have a lot of questions. Okie dokie. My cousin recently passed away suddenly. Can you tell me if he is okay and what happened? The what happened is a really, really big one, because I know for sure I can say he's fine. Actually, yeah. But he's a little confused. And I don't know if it was a car accident or an accident or it was like that, because he looks a little bit confused. I actually, if I were you, Shelley, I would leave a light on in the window. I would do something that makes him see a light and know where he could go in light. He's not an earthbound spirit. I don't mean to frighten you in any way, shape, or form, like in that way. But it might be a little bit ambiguous to him at this moment. And it's like that. So I don't know if you guys don't know if he passed suddenly or if he suffered. I would like to tell you, I would like to move it onto the idea that it was like that, because I hear it like that. Now, when you read something like that, do you get impressions?
Yeah, what comes up for me is my thought was, wow, that would feel very different from, say, my grandma, who knew she was dying and was going through a long period of,
Very
even in my last, a very close friend of mine who died a couple of years ago. It was a very long process, and she had so many visitors and supporters and everything around her, and it was just this beautiful process, really, although heartbreaking, but very different than this. So when I think of that, I think of that's a shock for them too, like to suddenly be
yeah. And he does look like he's in between the places. So and that just could be that he was just dead and didn't quite understand exactly where he is. But yeah, I keep seeing you lighting a candle in the window. I don't know if you're Catholic or if deep down in your ancestry you're Catholic, because that actually comes through too. Mm-hmm. Whatever your family's religion is, you don't follow that religion, too bad, so sad. That's actually what your dead family adheres to a certain extent, mm-hmm. to their traditions and things like that. It's strange but true. Mm-hmm. Especially with traditions, because it becomes an expected thing even after death.
The other thing that comes up for me as well is just that, and I guess this is from talking to a healer I used to talk to a lot. She used to talk a lot about when someone's passing or has passed, or even she used to say about my cat as well, like, don't worry about them because it doesn't help them. Like or even if somebody's passing, mm-hmm. And what is the natural thing? We don't want them to pass, right? So yes. Like wanting to hold on to them and whatever, but actually, allowing that natural passing is actually, it will make it easier for them. So I guess what came up for me there was just that, that you can still communicate to him and send him your love, send him your care, send him your best wishes. Like that would be helping him and probably him helping you as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's the whole idea with the candle. And with the candle, because they will either show me what indigenous people do. They'll show me a fire. So burning clothes or burning food. Mm-hmm. But for some, and then they'll show me that, and they'll show me the candle sometimes with people to get them for both ideas. And you're absolutely right. The more we worry about someone on the other side, the worse we make their experience on the other side. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
that's a really important thing for people to hear, isn't it? Because we do.
Oh, we do.
Someone's passing, or even if they're 90 and we worry about them. It's just, I mean, yeah, I know I certainly have. It was like when my cat was really ill, and the healer that was working with him at the time, she was like, he's getting more and more stressed because you're worrying. You have to stop worrying about him.
Yeah, I can feel you.
Because and then there's just like, actually, he's ill because of you, because he's taking on your stuff. Yeah, she was actually so specific. I had this therapy session and worked through some memory where I was age 4 with my dad. Next morning, she's texting me. She's going, okay, like, so he's trying to process something around your dad with you age 4. like I think, yeah, he's taking it on. So like, you need to let him know that, because she said, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I feel good for doing it. She said, you need to let him know, because he's just like, oh my God, she's dealing with this. And he's trying to take it all on for you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm fine, Luna. I'm fine.
Yeah, our dogs are like our teddy bears.
Yeah.
You tell your teddy bear all your problems. Poor little teddy bear stressed right out because he can't fix it. Can't move. He's inanimate.
Yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
how many of the puppies come when I'm, supporting couples.
Mhm.
As soon as they get upset, in comes the dog, the puppy and the cats.
My
Cats start
dog
doing
just
this across the
burst
street.
through and hit the barriers and come to people who are crying because he's a black lab, and that's what black labs do.
That's what they do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've even said to people, okay, my dog wants to see you. Is it okay if he does? Because he really wants to see you. It happens. Yeah. It happens more than you would think it would.
Yeah.
But yeah. And the other thing they want me to add to that is I believe this. I believe animals can communicate telepathically with each other. I know they telegraph with their movements and stuff, but so do we. But I think we communicate telepathically with them.
Right. Yeah.
I think if you think, you stupid fucking dog, your dog hears it.
It's that
And they know. Yeah, your cat hears it too, but she doesn't care. It's like, you stupid.
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay, now, Sherry. Oh, I feel comfortable. It's never made me nervous. Okie dokie. So the Sherry, we were talking about the man and the woman. So yeah. And I do think it's your husband a lot too, because I think the old lady walks through with a cat. Yeah. Okie dokie. Now we have another person who has, this is Steve. I want to know, how would I say that? I know you as Steve. Anyway, Steve. At my new place, I'm wondering who is here. Yeah. And I immediately, when I read that, I heard dad. I go with that immediate because if I think about it, I might change it because I want to be right. And the immediate answer is almost always the right answer. It's like when I ask people at the end of a reading, do you have any questions? And then I get the answer. And then I wait to see if you're going to ask the question.
Awesome.
People ask a question, I go, okay, actually, the question was.
I've done that before in one of your readings where I've written down all the questions that I wanted to ask. And I thought, yeah, I must remember. And then you said, have you got any questions? And I've gone, yes. I've looked at the page and I've gone, oh no, she's answered that. She's answered that. You've answered them all.
Yeah, because they watch you make the list.
Yeah.
They stand over you and they just answer it because they're looking at the list.
So that's a good tip, everyone. If you go for a reading, get your questions down before.
Yeah. Put your questions down in front of your spirit guides. Yeah. I had lots of people. I actually, someone I read today, I said, oh, did you ask so-and-so to be here? Yes, I did. I told him he had to be here. And there he is. I said, he's got no shirt on. Which he didn't. He had no shirt on. He'll come to me in different states. It's strange. Yeah.
I'm aware of time, Bobbi. So we've been an hour. Do we have any other questions?
Yes. Let's go. Okie dokie. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And Steve also said, keep your clothes on. It was about the menopause. Thank you, Steve. Oh, my dogs have been acting off in the last 2 days. Is it because a past loved one is visiting? If so, who is it? Now that's interesting because you were just talking about how your behavior was affecting your animal.
Mm-hmm.
And would you say that is quite possibly, yet you might be getting visited, but I actually am drawn more towards what Olivia was saying. And this idea that if this person has passed away, you might be feeling them and you might be feeling your grief and your sadness. And it actually might be making your dogs act off because they're feeling something's wrong. We don't know what is wrong, but there's something wrong. But at the same time, I am seeing them bark at the door. So it's a little bit of, because I don't know how far in grief you are, because if you're very far in grief, your loved ones can't get in. They will actually show me houses with blinds down, all blackness. So there's too much sadness in the house for me to enter. But okay, what would be your impression of that? And I keep using the word impression. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did, yeah. We hadn't planned this, everybody. Yeah. We got a plan. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it does come up for me straight away around whether they are visiting or not, how you are responding to them and their passing will, because we are all connected and because we are all energy, we're all affecting, each other anyway. So, and I'm guessing, I don't know, but what's coming up for me now is that I'm guessing that, no, you just said it. You just said if you're grieving, I've never heard that before, but if you're grieving like they can't come in. And my guess is that goes for any kind of, like serious stress or, big emotions
Yeah.
because they're blocking that channel again.
Seeing the thing, yeah, because it's so much the same thing. I love that you said that because you made a comparison that people can actually relate to in a way that makes sense to their minds because it's something
Mhm.
we have been taught a little bit.
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's an excellent example.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or yeah, like how you can't remember something when you're freaking out about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what's my name?
Yeah. Because we're in fight or flight, right? We're like,
Mhm.
the brain is going, there's a tiger coming, there's a tiger coming, there's a tiger coming. And we're like, but there's no tiger, but we're in
There's no tiger. Yeah.
there's actually no tiger.
Yeah, we've gone into
But our
that
brain thinks
area.
that there is. Yeah. The brain
Yeah.
thinks there is.
Yeah.
I mean, and that, and also all these things are such a win-win, aren't they? Because there's nothing that's going to harm your dogs or anyone by checking in with yourself and going, is there anything that I need? Is there anything that I need to do for myself? Again, going back to that self-care piece, is there anything that I need to do to maybe release the grief or to, to open myself more or to feel more calm, feel more relaxed, feel more at ease, that's going to help the dogs, whether there's people visiting or not. Could be.
And actually, what I see her doing is going up to her dogs and giving them a hug and saying, "What do you see?"
Right.
I actually saw that. So you might be able to get the information from your dog.
Oh,
I
I
know
love
that sounds crazy. I do know that sounds, but you know what? Screw it. I'm going to sound crazy. I talk to dead people for a living.
Yeah, right? So
Yeah.
the whole dog thing, that's quite acceptable, I think.
And I did not say, the Angel Side Podcast says hello. Hello, the Angel. I
Oh.
like that name, the Angel Side Podcast.
Very cool.
Want to know more about that. Now, Carrie has asked a question,
Okay.
but it just maybe if there's any messages for me. That's always such an ambiguous question. Even as a psychic, I go, could you be a little more specific just because of that? Do you get any impressions or feelings within you from that? I know it's tough.
I feel like I'm practicing being psychic on this call. It's really
Yeah, you are actually.
I saw an envelope. I saw an envelope. Not sure whether it's a letter or whether there's some information coming or you're waiting for an actual message. That's what I saw.
Okay. I saw a briefcase.
Did you?
Yep, I saw her carrying a briefcase, walking through the briefcase. So when I see briefcases or cases or anything, it usually means you're carrying baggage or you're on vacation. It's one of the two. I will ask, are you on vacation? Oh, you're not? Okay, yeah, carrying some baggage around. Yeah. But the envelope to me is a message.
With these questions, people can't respond, right? So it comes because I can't see what's happening. But there's
no, sometimes they will respond back, but
it comes down or something. I see.
Yeah, they have to go down. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Oh, wait, hi, I'm in the meeting as well. Nice to meet you both. Oh, well, hello. That's the Angel Side Podcast.
Hi.
Okay. I'd like to meet you more, the Angel Side Podcast. Yes, okie dokie. Yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes nobody can respond back and tell you things, so you just have to go with what you see and just blah, 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 what you see. Carrie says, woof.
Woof.
Do you know Carrie? Is she a friend?
No, I thought I did know Carrie, but actually when she was the one that asked the question, right?
Yeah, this
So
Carrie. Yes.
I don't think I did recognize that. Well, the one who asked the question, I didn't recognize the last.
Okie dokie. Yeah, because I'm not sure if she put woof as a response to what we said, as maybe I should hug my dog because of what we said before.
You said, yeah, listen to your dogs. What do you
I see. It's because she's lost her puppy dog.
Tough. I've recently
Yeah,
lost him.
honestly, the first thing I'm supposed to say to you is, of course, he is. He's still with you.
Yeah.
Because I think that your pet is actually taking care of you until you are okay. And if you actually even feel, I feel like I need to replace my pet right away, but that seems wrong to me, blah, 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 blah. It might be because your pet is saying, get another pet, woman. Yeah. Because, yeah. And I don't know if you made the decision. I kind of think you may have made the decision. You made the right decision. You ended suffering. Yeah. And this time you might want to go for a girl. And I don't know if that was a cat. Anyway, it was a woof. It's a dog, obviously. She wouldn't have woofed.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm supposed to say it to you, Carrie, this way. And you are a beautiful, wonderful, amazing pet parent. And there are animals out there that need you. You have a lot of love to give. Yeah, I saw the cat thing too. She says, I've been fighting getting a cat. That's funny
Oh,
because I wasn't sure if that was a cat, but she said woof. So yeah, it might even be that your dog thinks you need a cat. Yeah, and a cat might be more conducive to your lifestyle.
and I'd be interested in like asking, why the fight? What's the fight about? What's getting in the way?
Oh, I think her grief. Oh, I'm
Oh,
speaking for her now. I shouldn't do
right.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
So
she feels
it's
guilty.
about getting it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, please don't feel guilty. And I actually even think if you get a cat, your dog from the other side will tease your cat, play with your cat. And I think that's why it's kind of like I have men from the other side tell their wives, no, 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 I think you want to be with a woman now. And it's like, you dirty monkey. Grief, yes. Yeah, yeah, I thought so, Carrie. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, Okie dokie. So it's been an hour.
yeah.
And Carrie is the last person on the list. That was the last comment. So I think we are safe to say goodbye if you would like to say goodbye. I almost want to wait till it's 11, 11, 11 or 1, 11, 11, but I try to do that when I pump gas and it's a whole thing.
I mean, what I'm aware of is like there's just that we tap into these subjects and they're huge. Like I mean, I remember saying to you last time, let's do one on
Mhm.
pets. There's
Yeah.
so many that in themselves. There's just so much, and the topics that we're talking about today. One thing I wanted to just mention actually was something that I actually saw on Facebook. And then I looked it up, and I can't see I put it on my notes, but it's there's an African tribe that when somebody does something wrong or illegal or it seems out of character or bad in some way, that what they do is they surround the person and then they just tell them all the beautiful qualities about them. They tell them everything that works about them, everything that is why their heart is good, why they feel good, why they're a good person in the community and all the rest of it, as a way of healing.
Balancing. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was so moved by it. Like, I was sharing it with everybody, and then I looked it up again before this talk, and I just think that it's the same way of when I looked into shamanic traditions and different cultures and all the rest of it, across the board, and even Hindu and Buddhist mysticism, Native American traditions, indigenous traditions.
Canadian Indigenous do the
Yeah,
circle as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
so many. But there's this thing about and what we're talking about here is like genius and crazy and madness and mental health and all the rest of it. And I think that the core piece is really around this compassion piece. You use the word acceptance. That seemed to be, when with all the pieces that I was looking at, that seemed to be the ingredient that allowed people to be to experience their state, and to be supported in their state without why it wasn't going downhill was because they weren't judged, they weren't thrown in a psych ward, they weren't
Yeah. They were
banished.
said, "You're a bad human being who did a bad thing. You'll always be bad, so we're gonna call you bad. We're gonna put you with all the other bad people. You can all be bad together." Yeah, that's what we do to people. Yeah,
Yeah,
we give up on them.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
So
they really empathy.
yeah, so I think that there's something here around being curious about ourselves and the different states that we go through, and I'm curious about each other, staying open-minded. And because these days there's so much going on in the world that we'll jump to not trusting, we'll jump to judging. So I think our ability to just hang in there with it's not about not being safe or anything like that. But it is about, like, staying in a compassionate space as long as is possible, and staying curious and open about what all of us are going through, as opposed
Yeah.
to jumping into putting the people in boxes and labels and all the rest of it.
Yeah, we've never been so informed and so ignorant at the exact same time.
Yeah, I
It's
hear you.
insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
We will do this again, young lady.
We will.
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for all your questions and
Yes.
everything. I really appreciate them. It's been,
Thank
and
you.
thank you.
Everyone who come
Psychic.
came.
444. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Okie dokie.
Okay.
All
Let's
right.
love everyone. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. At this point, I will be back next Psychic Saturday. At this point, I will be back. If I'm not going to be back, I will let you know. If I am going to be back, I will let you know. Either way, I'll let you know.
And if anybody's interested in getting any support from me, then just feel free to DM me through. I'm Liv Nelson. I'm in Liv Nelson.
Tell all your things.
Yeah, I'm also going to be running a workshop. When am I running it? John just gave me the information. I'm running a 1-hour workshop on the 18th of December at 10 a.m. and it'll be online. It won't be live like this, so I'll need to send you a Zoom link. If you're interested in that, there's no fee. It's just 1 hour, and it's looking at dealing with conflict over the holidays. So with family, with your relationships, with all of that. So, and I've got some really clear frameworks that you can actually go and apply immediately so that you can basically be supported in really hard times, right? For people. I mean, there's John here and the cats, so we won't be seeing any family, but that's not most people, I'm aware. So
yeah, I actually hear the subtitle to it is dealing with family in the holidays. It's all Queen Victoria's fault.
I can't bring blame in right at the beginning, Bobbi. Come on.
I know. I had to go all circle because I'm annoyed with her. I don't know Queen Victoria well enough to be annoyed with her. So. Yeah. Thank you very much, Olivia, for joining me. And thank you, everyone, for joining us on our Psychic Saturday. I will, in all likelihood, be back next week. In all likelihood, barring some sort of family thing. It's always family. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.